Hello, everybody. This is Grace on a Journey, and you are listening to Angelic Healing Express. This episode will be different from the regular format due to the intention behind it. The intention is very much related to the title, which is Let My People Go. It is very important that my story claims international attention because it requires the village to put a stop to this abuse against humanity. Although I am a survivor and I am being targeted, there are others who do not have my voice. There are others who do not have a following. There are others who are living in fear. And I will use my platform to not only fulfill my soul's purpose, which is to bring enlightenment, love, hope, encouragement, wisdom. I had to take a pause because I am very passionate about my calling. Confirmation. I am passionate enough that I will stop for nothing. And I want to save as many lives as I can by giving people to learn from my past experiences, an opportunity to learn from my past experiences and to make better choices, to be prepared for the traps that people set, and to be aware of a lesson that I didn't learn until much later on in life, when I realized how malicious people could be. And I was sharing with a friend, and his response was, not everyone is like you. So I'm sure I'm not the only one who once experienced living a very sheltered life, where your parents did their best to give you an education and a strong upbringing, teaching you integrity and respect and so forth. But in the real world, you meet people from all different sides of the track. And so, as much as I appreciate the efforts of my bloodline and the family that I come from, I feel it's important to increase balance when it comes confirmation, when it comes to society, because although you want to offer the best to your youth, they will be encountering more than just the best as they make acquaintance to others that take part of this world. I think my story is a miracle. It was prophesied since 2019. I shared this on social media, and majority of it is documented. I feel like I have fulfilled a great deal of my service, because all you have to do is listen. I have several episodes on various podcasts and YouTube for the purpose of saving lives, bringing awareness to what exactly? Besides your spiritual troubles, bringing awareness to sex trafficking. I want to awaken you to the dangers of social media and how comfortable we can get on there, because you believe you're safe because you're behind a screen. And 99% of us have no intention of ever extending ourselves any further than this screen. But it is also popular in the uprising culture, where there are invitations made and community events and gatherings, and there's so many ways that people mingle nowadays due to events that are created and similar interests that are shared. And the thirst for development. Some of you are interested in building yourselves, so you appreciate lectures and workshops. And some of you are seekers, so you gravitate to gurus and teachers, spiritual teachers. And some of you are laid back and are comfortable with just where you are in life, and you just so happen to be at the wrong place at the wrong time. I myself, I am a homebody. I've always been. It's my preference because I am very selective in who I share my energy with. And so a lot of my socializing occurred in groups and settings such as this, in online communities, because it allowed me the comfort of being in my own home, and also an opportunity to be familiar with similar age groups and the belief of socializing in a healthy manner. In my case, my first encounter with an individual that was called in to target me was at a restaurant that is now closed permanently. And it is my belief it is due to the karma they have accrued due to the abuse that they've done, not only to me but others in the related communities, where the workers there conspired with a hitman. The name of the restaurant is Palantino Restaurant. Palantino Jamaican restaurant located in Miami, Florida. As you arrive to this restaurant, there is one individual that is very hyperactive in playing her part, where, oh, you're here with the boss? You're here with the boss? To give you the impression that this individual is a business owner, when that is not a fact. It's a setup. It's the beginning of you being entrapped. And you are led to believe that this person lives a certain lifestyle. This person is single. As a matter of fact, he's a bachelor and he shares a home with the workers, the staff, because they are so invested in this business that they accumulate their finances together, prioritizing this project to eventually grow big and excel as they grow. So I was led to believe that this individual, this hitman that I thought was a business owner, was single, was a bachelor, and was a man of God, and did not have time for a party life because he was so invested in his work life. This is the picture that they painted. And to save a life, for those of you that do encounter individuals that paint a picture for you, investigate as much as you can. Even though they have those that can vouch for them, as the hitman that I encountered had staff members saying, oh, he owns this restaurant and so forth. They can be lying, just as I was lied to, right? So even though you meet a quote-unquote uncle or cousin, because I quote-unquote met both, and apparently this is a family business. everything was brought to the awareness of those that came in contact with me. I was the only one who did not know what was going on. That the goal was to drain me financially and sacrifice me. They went as far as investing in a life insurance. They attacked me from all sides, financially, spiritually, emotionally. And I was led to believe that this individual wanted a lifetime commitment by way of marriage. At the time, I was not in awareness that he was also a warlock and that I was put under a spell. And I am glad that we are in this part of the story, because I want to take this opportunity to say, if I were to rewind the steps that I took and the position that I was in, I would not have eaten from that restaurant. That is one of the ways that they can put you under a spell. Whether it is by way of a drink, and I'm talking about a soda, because I don't drink alcohol and I don't take drugs and I don't have any interest to. So that was not even part of the incident. But I thought something as innocent as Caribbean food and a carbonated drink was safe. No. In my case, it wasn't. And this is why I want to recommend that even though you may think that you're pretty friendly with an individual because you've got to know each other over the phone and you've shared about the lives you live and the goals you have, and they appear to be an upstanding citizen, does not mean that has to be the case. So upon meeting them, if you decide to take that risk, I honestly would recommend that you don't. If you were a child of mine, I want to be transparent and say, I honestly recommend that you allow the encounters that you make online to remain online. And those that you meet in person, you know, and you make their acquaintance face to face. Okay? Because life just continues to get more complicated. I'm not saying that you cannot meet anybody under those circumstances that are upstanding and eventually becoming a life partner. What I'm saying is, it's not the safest way. And it could be lethal. Although I experienced trauma through the abuse that I was put under, by a group of scammers and Luciferian coven members, by the grace of God, I survived, because it is my calling to share this story. God entrusted me with the gift of communication and the spirit of courage to be able to stand my ground so that injustices can cease. I have been a teacher by career for many years, not knowing eventually God was going to lead me to the spiritual field, where I teach from my experiences, I offer my wisdom, and I pray that our communities can grow and set better examples for our youth. Because God has a plan. And we have a purpose. Everything was planned. Would you believe that you could be sold without even knowing the person that sold you, never meeting them before, and that you can be purchased without ever meeting the person that purchased you? Well, these are the days that we are living in. They use those that are in low vibrational states to identify those of you that they find online in regards to your aura. And after they identify something special about your aura, the protocol is to request your picture. And most of you, like I was, confused, because I said, Why would you need my picture? You see my picture. I'm sure that is one of the reasons why you connected with me. So why would you even need my profile picture? It's there for the world to see. Oh, but yeah. I would prefer you send it to me. I just want to add it on my phone and so forth, and put it next to your phone number, and save it on my phone. It was later on I understood that has to do with point of contact, where although your picture was already made available online, the energy of you entrusting them with your picture was the point of contact made. And that's when they can begin to play on your top. And those of you that are not familiar with that lingo is start their witchcraft or spell work, or before they even meet you, they engage in these activities and congregate with fellow barbaric vampiristic coven members, because they all want a part of you. It was also through that experience I learned that there is such a thing as spiritual gang rape. Because once they learn about your aura and that it is likely that you possess spiritual gifts, and they further investigate with divination and those that are low vibration in the spiritual field, disclosing information about you, some things that haven't even been brought to your attention. You see, we gain knowledge of our power. We gain knowledge of who we are in cycles. That's why we experience different situations in life. And confirmation, as we stand up for ourselves and as we learn our lessons, we gain these skills of self-awareness and insight by way of developing ourselves. So they send the Casanova of the group, the fellowship, the sisterhood, the coven, to love bomb you. They are possessed with incubus and succubus spirits. In your belief of being in love, and you encounter them in a passionate manner, they eventually congregate with fellowship members in orgies and spiritually drain you. You become a spiritual plug for these secret societies. They drain you, and you experience symptoms of being very lethargic and forgetful and depressive Sometimes you experience headaches and back pains and so forth, because not only do they drain you spiritually and financially, requesting assistance, oh, I need help with this, or my mom needs this, or, they target you in every direction so they can have access to it spiritually, because it's as above, so below. So many of these individuals will be in the spirit of being a hobosexual, Hobo, expressing that living together would be the only option, because they have to live with roommates and it wouldn't be comfortable with you living with them and their roommates. So that is how they make their way into your homes, with the goal of attaching themselves to you in relation to occult knowledge. Those of you who know about your spiritual home, your temple, your spiritual inheritance, your spiritual protection, and so forth. Again, it's strategic. As above, so below. Although this may require a lot more time in communication when it comes to you being able to understand in depth of what I am sharing. My service to you is to just give you somewhat of an understanding in order to inspire you to continue to do the research on your own as you pray and ask God for direction and intelligence and clarity in order to make it more malleable when it comes to you being well-rounded in the subject, especially if it pertains to you or somebody that you love, because the goal is to free those that are being targeted due to the intentions of exploitation by these secret societies. It's a very traumatic experience. And there are a lot of individuals involved, because in order for this to take place, there are a lot of individuals who invest financially because they are being taught that if they take part of this humanitarian crime, or crime against humanity, if they take part of it, they will benefit when you are sacrificed. Whatever talent you had or creative strengths or presence, like when you walk in the room, the je ne sais quoi, the ability to capture the attention of others, to hold a conversation or some type of lecture, whatever the case. They invest in it. They thirst for it because they do not have the skills that you were blessed with. And some of you are not even aware that you have these talents because we are so programmed to remain within the lines that mainstream society paves out for us. And so there are certain passions that we have in the area of creativity that we push aside or we postpone because, well, I need a 9-to-5 paying job. That has to be a priority. But is that priority in alignment with your soul's purpose when the reality, apart from that illusion, when the reality of the situation is that you are a spiritual being first, having a human experience? Yes, responsibilities are part of this reality. However, discovering your true nature will enable you to be able to be responsible citizens as you fulfill your soul's purpose. Now, there are so many details that you can research as you review my podcast prior to today, because I am doing my best to try to offer you an overview of what I've been sharing for the past couple of years in just this small amount of allotted time. Educate yourself more when it comes to online safety. I do not recommend anyone to be on the internet without some type of security. You are just setting yourself up for danger. Phishing and viruses and all these other investments that are conducted with the dark web as headquarters. I have been praying for the youth, but I also pray for the professionals. That take part of the adult population, because you are greatly targeted due to the stereotypical beliefs in relation to your status in life and what you can be drained for in regards to money or your house or, your vehicles, and people are being targeted. And there are those that are serial killers that are on a quest. And their preference are those that are God-fearing, okay, live quiet lives. They love single mothers because they feel that you're vulnerable. And one of the first agendas they have is to try to separate you from those that love you. Okay? So they'll try to highlight different opportunities for you to disengage with family members and friends. Oh, did you see that this person did that? Or did you know that this person is doing that? Or did you hear that they want to open a can of worms, so to speak, and attract division into your lives? One of their strategies is by way of home invasion. They get familiar with your family households and take note of your relationships. They like to inquire information about your workplace. They want to know your friends, because as you open all these doors of disclosure, they are taking note. Understand, this is a group that is targeting one individual. And so they feel their unity is what overpowers you as you stand alone. But those of us that know God and love God and trust God, are spared. Because although we go through the trauma, if you're called to be a messenger, God gives you a voice to share your story across international borders. There is a cry for humanity. Too much hurt. And too much karmic debt. The balance will not be negotiated. It will be imposed. continue to pray and stand strong. One of the ways that they try to shut you up because they do not want this word to get out is by labeling you. It begins with defamations of characters where they begin with these fictitious stories leading people to believe that there's something wrong with you, that you suffer some form of insanity. So that no one will take you serious. And they try to work between the loopholes by using spiritual crimes to bring harm, with the awareness that you need to be able to prove the crimes to get your justice. But what I want to bring to your attention is that there is spiritual court as well, and which you can't fight yet is the operative word, because once it's done above, it's manifested below. If you find yourself cornered, the proper protocol is to go to spiritual court. Now, I do not mean for you to delve into black magic or spell work or OBL, or I'm not referring that, because I don't participate in any of that. I don't subscribe to it, because my belief, my understanding, and my inner knowing is that whatever you put out in the universe, you attract to yourself. How we combat these abusers, these spiritual criminals, is by educating ourselves on these matters, teaching it to the youth, informing all those who are willing to listen, especially those that play roles in lawful positions in the governments as well. This is one of the reasons why I mentioned earlier that my story needs international attention, because certain cultures have more of an understanding of what my story entails, because it is also culture infused. The reason why I have this belief is because after contacting legal authorities prior to a better understanding, I was told that, first of all, I want to say I'm very thankful that the officer that I connected with does understand indigenous culture, because he is indigenous. So he said, I'm very aware that what you are saying is happening. But the issue is that we live in the West. And because we live in the West, our problems are not being valued as they should, because they are more concerned about the culture that appears to be mainstream. So those that are minorities, so to speak, get overlooked and silenced, and sometimes sent to mental asylums, if not killed. And so we need instrumental people to start a movement and bring in change and begin a dialogue with those that are in positions in the government internationally of certain boards that need to be created to oversee in addition to the crimes that are already being disciplined. What else needs to be added to the system for investigation? Because if we just sit down and we don't open this dialogue, this will continue to happen. And although you are strong and you're able to stand up for yourself and talk about it and spread the word, we need your voice to be echoed. And that can only happen when we connect with the proper networks to begin to call in the attention of justice. And so I believe that I am a pioneering spirit in this movement, and I'm very proud of it, because it needs to stop. Crime will continue, but if my efforts just offer a lesser percentage of this occurring, I left my imprint. And that was my goal. My legacy will be remembered. What saddens me is that these horrific criminal circles I had to pause for a minute because I find it so disappointing that women would be exploiting women. Women would be endangering women. when they know how crooked some of these male scammers are. It's like an ultimate sellout. And some of these women participate in women empowerment groups. They live their lives in facade as if they want to teach women how to empower themselves, as they are exploiting them behind the scenes. Targeting other women online, forwarding their information to warlocks, distorted masculines, to attack. Many times it's in relation to jealousy. Your achievements make them feel insecure, to the point that they are willing to go into partnership with distorted males, a lot of them who belong to the down low populations, who hate women because they want to be them. We need to do better. And little by little, I will continue to share piece by piece, so we can collectively connect the dots and see the bigger picture, the light at the end of the tunnel. Because my people will be free. And I will continue to be a vessel until they let my people go. Let my people go. Chattel sex slavery must end. I would have never predicted that I would have used slavery, the word slavery, in a relatable tone in 2024. But that's what's going on behind the scenes. I want those that are still in the struggle to know that you are loved by me. You are not alone. All that I ask of you is to keep an open line of communication with God, seeking guidance. Every time you talk to God, seek guidance, because He will lead the way. But you must participate. Now, I use my gifts to help myself and others on this journey. Because when you deal with scammers, you're surrounded by liars. And the truth is what's required to set us free. And today I am free. Indeed. Because I obtain my answers myself. I don't need liars to come around me with any fictitious tales, especially when it would be self-incrimination because they participated. So God awakened me to my gift of divination, and I have been helping many with this area of expertise. I have a spread in front of me right now, and I'm going to share my latest findings with you. Because some of you decided to walk away, not only because you decided, but also because you were guided. All right, some of you received dreams and visions. Some of you heard a sermon. Some of you heard a podcast. Some of you heard a song, but you were guided to walk away. And because you decided to walk in obedience, and I'm hearing run in obedience, those that were targeting you are experiencing sorrow right now because they attempted to sacrifice you. But because you got away, they have to pay. You see, when they sacrifice you, if they do not succeed at their mission, a life for a life. So their sorrow has nothing to do with their guilt or remorse. It's based on the fact that they lost, and still all debts must be paid. Coffin. You will notice them dying one by one. Okay? What they sent your way, if you kept your hands clean, meaning you continued leaning on God. You continued living your life in the highest vibration. You did not retaliate by sending negative energy to combat negative energy. Instead, you stood your ground. You set your boundaries. You have arrived at making the final decision of no contact, and you are participating in every measure in relation to self-protection, spiritually, physically, mentally, emotionally, and so forth. I'm hearing technology. So again, I'm going to remind you to do your part at protecting yourself when it comes to technology, and I'm hearing when it comes to your identity. Take the measures necessary. There are programs out there that specialize and can assist you in maintaining confidence when it comes to your privacy. Okay? Do not neglect it spiritually. Again, it has to come from above. As above, so below. So you have to request it from God. That I rebuke all monitoring spirits that the enemies, known and unknown enemies, are sending towards me. And protect my privacy, protect my family, protect my family's privacy, and so forth. Do your part. Again, follow this protocol. Always start from above and let it rain down on you, okay, as it manifests in this physical world. If you're willing to learn, I'm willing to teach. Okay? You're loved and you're supported. Again, you're not alone. They are in the energy of war and strife, because they know it's either you or them. So they want you to be the sacrifice. But God did not put his stamp on that. He gives life, and only he can take it away. Now, a lot of you found yourself in this scenario because you are a generational curse breaker. What you're experiencing, some of your ancestors experienced. Although internet didn't play a part, but the plotting played a part, and the strategy played a part, and the temptations played a part. Temptations for gain. What would they gain from them spiritually, financially, materialistically, and so forth? Okay? So you are next in line to carry your spiritual service. And these secret societies know that once you are in alignment with that soul's purpose, that you are offered ultimate protection, as long as you remain, again, in your highest vibration. Okay? So they use these tactics of gang stalking and disturbance and crank phone calls and, sacrificing animals and leaving them in front of your homes or in your backyards, or, sending postage in regards to life insurance and cremation services and funeral home plans, and they do everything in their power to try to bring lower vibrations in your corner. And you are responsible to rebuke all of that negative energies and inform the sender, whoever sent it, whoever sent you, whether it is a letter in regards to cremation or someone making crank phone calls in regards to condolences, or whatever attack that they're doing. You need to refute it in spirit. Whoever sent you, known or unknown enemies, I don't accept it. I don't receive it. I reject it. So you can't stay here. I don't accept it. I don't receive it. I reject it. In Jesus' name and in my name. Take authority over your home. That is your body, your spirit, your mind. Your physical home and your home made of flesh. Nurture your spiritual home. Spend time with God routinely. Pray with your requests and meditate for your answers. Okay? There are those that are fake, and there are those that are spiritual actors that will come in your circles and pretense. I'm called in this regard. I'm a spiritual teacher. I'm a prophet. I'm this and I'm that. And they are also in connection to these secret societies. Ask God for the spirit of discernment. Again, it's you or them. So you determine how much time you invest in maintaining your freedom and never letting go. Now, the feminine energies is being targeted. Divine feminines, they want to shut you up. You're too much competition for them. So they are defaming your character and calling you an actor, that you're pretending, that you're not gifted, that you're not called, to incite the masses to come against you and to add on minions to gang stalk you and abuse you and troll you. Remember who you are. That's all that's required. Because once you remember who you are, you know that God stands with you, and that is all you need to know. They specialize in illusion. They utilize glamour spells, these secret societies. Okay? And they continue informing their members who contribute financially to remain patient. Be patient. Be patient, because as they remain patient, they continue to invest. And although they think that you are being targeted, those that are invested are being targeted due to being gullible. Because while you're being patient, they're draining your finances. That's something you're overlooking. Many of you have already written your books. It's part of prophecy. And these secret societies are experiencing a very cowardly spirit because they do not want these stories to come out. They do not want the populations to know that they were the architects that initiated these projects to come against God's anointing. They are being regarded as cursed due to the backfires that are being witnessed in their environment. People are beginning to push back because they are also in the awareness of the fact that energy is contagious. So if you align yourself with those that are cursed, you inherit that curse as well. Some of them are so convinced that they're cursed due to karma in relation to the abuse that they've been doing, that they're even considering being open-minded enough to hear of the advantages in relation to transforming to a higher vibration. Not only do they see these scammers paying the consequences, but they see the elevation in your lives once you cut the cords with these scammers. Once you set these boundaries of no more contact. It's evident. Enlightenment. This is why some of you experience this tragedy, because you're called to be a teacher. So you had to take classes in order for you to learn your lessons. And now that you took the class, you learned your lesson, you graduated, and you've earned some level of mastery, you have been positioned on your post of authority. You are the light. You are the salt of the world. Restoration of life. A lot of these individuals, these two-faced individuals, are experiencing rejection because you banish them out of your energy, and so they can no longer energy harvest off of you, copying your materials, your publications, or the videos that you create, or the podcast that you have published. A lot of your efforts, the energies that you were invested, that you were never compensated for, was being utilized for them to make a profit. But once you spiritually banish them, it manifested in the physical. As above, so below. So there are those who were never friends that are showing their true colors. So what they subjected you to, they are experiencing. The fact that you've walked away, you did your shadow work, you made your peace, you've forgiven for yourself. Some of you learned the necessity of self-forgiveness and how it is essential on your way to forgiving others. Because there were some of you who were saying, I should have never trusted, I should have never allowed, I should have. And when you were tired of should have on yourself, and you decided to meditate and listen to hear a word from God, you were advised to forgive yourself first. That was the priority confirmation. Once you walked into the door of self-forgiveness, it's okay that you trusted. It's okay that you loved. It's okay that you were caring. That doesn't make you wrong. That doesn't make you dumb. That doesn't make you a fool, because you loved, because you cared, because you helped. What's required now is for you to accept you did the best with the knowledge you had. You did the best with the knowledge you had. You did the best with the knowledge you had. And now that you know more, it's time to up the score. And as God recognizes the healing that you've attracted to your life, you're being rewarded. With the reclamation. Soul reclamation. Some of you were being targeted because they wanted to swap destinies with you. They're skin crawlers. They wanted to swap souls with you. They wanted your life. They wanted your story. They wanted your magnetism. They wanted your love. They wanted your finances. But all this came about because you gave love. Because you invested in others. Because you raised your vibration. You have to give to receive. And sometimes it's in the case of reciprocation, where if someone is giving you energy of kindness, you have to give it back. You can't just take and expect for you to benefit from that. Now, something else I want to bring to your attention is that one of their tactics that is very popular amongst that population is they like to be in open relationships. This way, they can send their boyfriend or their husband or their baby daddy or whatever your way to drain you and bring the rewards, quote unquote, back home. Or their gains, rather, back home. Because the reward for sin is death. So there are women out here who are literally pimping their counterparts. Now, what I would like to say about that is it depends on if you are a divine feminine or a divine masculine. Because it might be an open relationship where a distorted masculine energy is pimping out his distorted feminine energy. So as it resonates, it may apply. Now, they claim that they have a soul connection because a lot of them are in pretense and stating that you are their twin flame and so forth. Again, pretense. Twin flames are not on a mission to kill each other. That's sick. Very sick, actually. So in regards to that, what I want to share is they may have seen you as just a project because they came into this agreement with other fellowship members, coven members, whatever you want to call it, with the goal of finance. But due to their interaction and study of you, they were introduced to parts of you that led them to believe that you are more valuable than what they once thought you were. That maybe they should not have gone along with the mission of being a hitman. Alright? I also want you to know there are a lot of secrets that are being revealed that were never supposed to be made available to the surrounding communities, but light is being brought to them, and that has to do with your gift. Some of you have a gift of divination, but you will never know until you try. Wow. They wanted you to be kept in the dark. Because they knew you had a purpose and that you could set the people free. They knew God was on your side, creation of all things. This is why they want to shut you up. God is on your side. They're in deep concern. They're experiencing deep concern. Why are they experiencing deep concern? Religions, because a lot of them are pretenders. Some of them belonged to, quote unquote, different religions, and they were playing a facade. And people are starting to talk about it because their secrets are being uncovered. And they're not too fond about that. Some people, after learning the truth, are seeking justice. They're praying for justice. They once prayed for them. They once prayed with them due to the lies they were told. But now that they know the truth, they are praying for justice. And justice will be served. They know about the secrets in relation to a house invasion that was conducted spiritually, physically, and sexually. Some of these communities are repulsed of what they're learning and finding out. They're observing those of you that were once targeted as being, they were defaming your characters, calling you evil because you knew how to get to the truth, because God opened all of your eyes to see all of the lies that were surrounding you and me. And now they are seeing the beauty that you walk in, and they see God's signature, and they see how the universe is of assistance to bringing you justice. Some of you are in the energy of fame and renown. A lot of you are loved because you inspire and you heal hearts. You are recognized as the messenger that you are, the anointed messenger of God. Praise God. I love you, Lord. King of Cups, you are loved. You are recognized. You are being offered partnership. You're supported. Some of those that offended you in the past are reviewing your journey of transformation, echoing the hand of God. They know this is God. It could be no other way. There's no other explanation. In fact, God is the only way. You got away. They once had you in their freezer so you could be stuck and you couldn't move forward in life. The goal was to put you in such a sense of desperation that you would seek their aid by submitting to their request. You would be afforded it by submitting to their request. They wanted you in that energy of desperation. But some of you are very strong-minded. You were made that way. They once wanted to kill you. But the energy that was sent to you to be an outcast has returned back to them. They once had a perception of unity. They thought they were standing strong because they were standing in numbers. They're realizing that was never the case because they were not standing with God. They're contemplating on what can be done now that they're exposed. They know that you're protected. They know that you're safe. They know that you can see through them. They know that you are loyal to God and God is loyal to you. And because you trust God, you have no fear. They know that too. They're seeking advice. What can I do? I'm messed up. My heart is broken. Some of them believe their heart is broken. Why? Why is your heart broken? I had an idea. Because they're experiencing tsunamis and tropical storms. I had an idea because I knew their love was never sincere. So their heart that needs healing has nothing to do with their sincerity, with their feelings about you. It has to do with the fact that the consequences that are being brought to them, because karma never forgets an address. They're realizing the fact that you made a request to God to receive justice, that it is manifesting, and that you will receive success. They're in the awareness of that. And they don't like it. And you don't care. They're still in their doubts about you. They're not convinced you are who you are. They're not. Because they sold their souls and they've been possessed by the enemies that they signed to. A life for in life. So until they transition, they will be under the control of the entity that they tried to sacrifice you to. They fell into that trap because they had a spirit of grandeur. They neglected to do their inner and outer work. They participated in cowardly actions. That's the revelation many people around them are perceiving. They were sneaky, being exposed for being sneaky. Some of them are questioning, what was the point? What did I get out of this? What was the point? Exactly. The point was God's plan to be activated. We are the pioneers because this is a new day. And how it used to be is how it can no longer be. So although they were plotting to be your enemy, their strategy landed them in the position of becoming examples of what happens to those that sign up to be the enemies of God's anointed ones. That's what they signed up for. They lied to you. They lied about everything from the beginning. Everything was a lie. They wanted to send someone to your home to proceed in activities in relation to death. And then they would remain in an energy of pretense, as if they didn't know what was going on, who did it, how it happened. But they were uprooted because God did not want them to remain in your energy. That's why you have to make peace with the fact that man's rejection is God's protection. You were covered because you are the treasury. The gifts lie with you. That's why you were covered. And they were jealous of that too. Why should she be the treasury? What does she have? What does she know? What is she? They wanted you shipwrecked. Because they didn't think it was fair. They thought you were too lucky in life. Mind you, they were subjecting you to torture, but they're thinking you're too lucky in life. So yes, the distorted masculines had to be uprooted. It was God's decision. They want you to know, well, they want to know your knowledge. Because you have the keys. The spiritual gift that you have qualifies you, and I'm hearing gifts, plural, that you have qualifies you for being the confirmation of the abundance. The abundance can come in many forms. One of the ways it can be manifested is by way of intellectual lucidity. All right? I also want to tell you, those of you who are fulfilling your soul's purpose, if God told you that all your needs would be met, that's a contract. You will never lack. Don't allow their projection of low vibration and poor finances and anxiety affect you in any way. When you notice the expression of those energies in your surroundings, rebuke them. Whoever sent you is who has to deal with you, because I don't receive you and I don't accept you. Get out. This is my territory. This is my sacred space. You have no authority over me, over my family, over my affairs, over my privacy, over my future. You have no authority when it concerns me. Learn to walk around your homes, people. Walk around your homes and claim your ground. This is holy ground. All demonic spirits and energies and low vibrations must flee. This is something that should have been done routinely. And in my truth, daily. I'm not going to sit down and let any corruption come take over my home. What are your priorities? Only the vigilant win. Do you have the discipline? Claim back your power. Uncovering treasure. Beneath the surface lies great bounty. That's in alignment with what I was saying. That you have power. Some of you have power that you're not even aware, because you're not using it. You're not using it. And I was told earlier on in my journey, a gift is a gift because it is shared. So if you have power, you need to use the power to protect yourselves and your families. That should be your first ministry. Yes, you pray, you ask for help, but are you doing your part? Or are you allowing others to intimidate you? Because that needs to stop. You are a builder, a wealthy elite. Okay, you are a builder, a wealthy elite wanted to work you as a slave so they could energy harvest off of you and become a money handler, like profit from your hard work, your endeavors, right? Because you didn't know your potential, you didn't know your power. It was through these experiences that you began remembering a lot of the lost parts of yourself as you began the recognition of the parts of your soul. You are a divine warrior. Of light. And you are breaking the circle because you were called to be a generational curse breaker. You see beyond the veil, and you recognize the actors for who and what they are. They took you to the crossroads. You were targeted for sacrifice. So you had to cut the cords with the actors after light was shined on the fact that they were acting from the beginning, that they never had good intentions. That you were just a way for them to make pay. That's the reality of the matter. You are balanced. In dark and light. Balance is the fruit of the universe. You are balanced in your masculine and feminine energies. They are contemplating because they still want war and strife. And they don't know what approach to take with the divine warrior. Because you're in your power. They wanted to literally eat you. Some of them wanted to sacrifice you, kill you, and break you down until you can be inserted into the form of a capsule that they could swallow. This is how disgusting these energies are. anything to get your power. Anything. Even cannibalism. They're observing. They're still observing because they're not ready to let go of this spiritual warfare. But they're stuck. They're experiencing a blockage. They don't know what to do. Because you're being recognized. And are receiving the flowers that you're due. One of the fences that they feel is being made is the fact that many of you are divine feminines. And so you being in your strength and standing up to these distorted masculines gives them an ego death. So they want you dead. They are attempting to come your way. But the downloads I received, according to that, is that they won't even make it to you. But that's their goal. To try to make it to you. Some of them are enlisting others to go in for them because they are cowardly. And they can't do it themselves. They're too much in their feminine energies. They're distorted point of correction. They're too much in their distorted feminine energies. So they had to go tattletale to distorted males to protect them and defend them. But you are already liberated. Nothing to fear. They're sending in hitmen are sending in hitmen because they're looking for redemption because they failed. That's their motivation, redemption. Because they want to receive fame and be renowned for spiritual communication. They want political authority. They want mental force so they can continue to manipulate the masses and drain you of your energy, mostly financially, open for sexually, concerned of the surgeon, the separation of those that have been given wisdom and are reclaiming back their power, reclaiming back their energy, and saying, no more. I am free. And they are cut off, left to stand on their own. Their concern is, well, how do I continue to be a snake? That's their concern. How do I continue to be a snake? They're stuck. Frozen and experiencing a blockage. They don't know where to take it from here because they're overwhelmed with the exposure. They're overwhelmed with getting found out in every attempt to come your way, in every strategy. It's a very difficult time for them. People are making decisions now that are in alignment with common sense. They're not allowing themselves to be gullible just due to the gift of gab. Which is a divine blessing that they're in the awareness of what's going on now. Which will offer success. Success comes by way of choices. These scammers want to clean it up. They want atonement of errors for their social status. They don't care about the crime they've committed, the injustices they've committed, the trauma they subjected you to. It's not about that. They just want to be seen in a certain light. And they are recognizing that they are experiencing a building collapse internationally. And those that they've collaborated with to commit crimes with on all four corners of the earth is being versed on their true identity. How they build their success, if you want to call it that. Shop owners are looking for rectification. Interesting. The seed, they did all of this. The seed was based on how they were seen socially. That was the seed. There is a desire for validation of their peers. They have a complex. Because they have low self-esteem, they need constant validation, disregarding the inaccuracy of it. They need to feel good about themselves, even if they have to pay someone on the corner to lie to them. They wanted to mark you, and they're recognized for being a marker, right? For targeting you. And now it backfired because now they marked themselves. Part of the demon crew. They gambled with building an upheaval. Looking for success. The shop owner played the role of the tempter. Gullible, right? The ancestors are shedding light to all that is hidden. They have to return to the crossroads that they once set up for you. They're experiencing being whipped by karma herself. They're being exposed for fishing and looking for other victims to target from online communities. Their goal? Money. All they hear is money. Money, power, success. I'm hearing, what's love got to do with it? Love is not on their agenda. Be aware. They can't be trusted. And one lesson I hope you remember from all of this, I've shared it several times before. Whatever someone can do to another, they can do the same thing to you. This is why a lot of people keep quiet when they notice someone being targeted. They think, well, if they're targeting them, they're not targeting me, so I'm going to shut my mouth. I'm going to mind my business. But the truth is, after you, they come too. Scandal, rage. Yeah, this exposure is a scandal, right? So they're enraged because they didn't want this to come out. How hypocritical they were. Holier than thou on Sunday mornings and cannibals on weekdays. They want you to be loyal to them, but they don't have that word in their vocabulary. Not even amongst themselves, because there is no honor amongst thieves. And this is why, as they get exposed, they will expose each other. First one that gets caught rats all of them out. Prophetic words. Desire for knowledge. All in suspense. What do the divination workers know? Who knew they would have access to the entire plan? We never thought about this. We never considered this. We never knew. God was tired of this scandal. They feel as if this scandal is like them being whipped by the universe. Separation. This project was a pregnancy, right? They had an agenda. They had a limited time to accomplish this task. It was going to be, when the task was birthed, wealth would be born into their association, right? But because they were exposed, no wealth. All for nothing. All for nothing. All for nothing. I said all for nothing. And as they were defaming your character, They were saying, your life was worth nothing. But now that they marked themselves, they're seen as all for nothing. Their lack of loyalty amongst each other is bringing them tower after tower after tower. They're scared of themselves because of how far they took it. They didn't even know how evil they were. Some are experiencing rage because of the fact that some of them are backing out. I don't want to be the daddy. I don't want to get caught up. I was entrapped. You're a trap queen. But all of you agreed during your orgy to commit this crime as you indulged in your sexual fantasies. But now nobody wants to sign the birth certificate. Isn't that interesting? Irregardless, you will still have the child support. People are talking, they want to know more, especially if they were accomplice, because they don't want to get caught up for them. So those of you who had platforms that were shadow banned because they didn't want this word to come out, there are those that take part of the conspiracy that are your biggest fans out there, because they need intel in order to protect themselves. They need intel in order for them to call the tips hotline to make sure they cover themselves. That's how it backfired. And as shadow banned as you are, your voice is being heard across international borders, as these are international crimes on all continents. They're experiencing rage because their allied invader now wants separation. And although he was once sent in to spy on the individuals that were targeted, he has domestic information in relation to those that hired him. Confirmation. And they are enraged because he feels wounded because he was not informed of the details that they omitted. And now that the scandal is being brought to the world's attention regarding human sacrifice, the attention is overwhelming. Because they are being seen as rebels that are underhanded. And they feel the energy of a tornado. They once tried to oppress you, but now they feel oppressed. Isn't that ironic? Finding sanctuary. That's very necessary, especially those of you that are still in the earlier stages of this trauma, my heart goes out to you, and I pray that more and more gets revealed to you. I don't think you listening to this episode came by way of accident. I think you prayed for this, for someone that understands and that can help with the knowledge that they've been able to accrue from their own experience. I want you to know that it is my calling to be available to you. Confirmation. And I am guided in my steps. Those of you that feel guided confirmation to contact me, I can be reached at GraceOnAJourney@gmail.com. GraceOnAJourney. GraceOnAJourney @gmail.com. If you just want to share parts of your story, if you're looking for some type of mentorship, if you are investigating, to align yourself closer to justice, I want to first say, call judgment. Go into prayer and call judgment against all those known and unknown enemies that are sending known and unknown attacks. All right? Then pray about it even further. Ask if you should connect with me or not. If you are led to do so, utilize the email I just gave you. My services are based on love donations. Each case is individual. I want to help. There is proof in my pudding because I'm still alive. My story is not in vain. You are loved. You are cherished. And you are appreciated. Be open to your spiritual source. And be safe. Peace.